What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are back in the saddle. Monday morning, I'm in the green, up a little over $10,000, 2 times my $5,000 daily goal, off to a strong start. You know what's interesting? I didn't even think about the fact that I was still recovering from a drawdown until I was already up 10,000 on the day. I had put it so far out of my mind that I didn't come in thinking, oh, I still need to make back X amount from that red day I had back on Thursday. The loss on Thursday, look, it was not fun, but I was able to kind of let it be water under the bridge. I let it go. I moved on. And Friday, I had a small green day. Over the weekend, I did that video that you guys probably saw on trading psychology and why it's so hard in our brain to recover from these losses. So I implemented some of the things I talked about in that episode. I knew I was sizing down. I was doing my meditation. I was focused on being disciplined. So did my meditation on Saturday, did it again on Sunday, came in here Monday morning, and all of a sudden I sit down and boom, we've got a stock on the scanner. It was SINT. This stock has a float of less than 1 million shares. It's ripping up. This is around 6:30 a.m. And I was like, all right, we've got something to work with. And so I was so kind of immediately drawn into the market that I wasn't thinking about recovering Friday's loss or anything like that, or Thursday's loss. I was just looking for the first trade. So SINT, kind of interesting here, pops up at 6:30, up to a high of 319. It drops back down, and then it curls back up. So I took my first trade on this a little bit before 7 a.m. It was at 6:52, and I bought it at $3.27. So let's look at 6:52. So 652 was right here, right? So this was my first entry on it. It was starting to form an ABCD pattern right in there. So we got to get kind of zoomed in on that. But it had popped up to a high of about 350. It had dropped down. It had come back up. It had dropped down. And when it came back up right here, I got in, stopped just below the blue ascending support trend line. And I was looking for a retest of the highs. Now, unfortunately, it didn't break the high. But on that green candle, it popped up. I locked up some profit. I was up on the day now in the green, $1,000. It dips back down. It comes back up. I give it another stab. Boom, another $1,000 of profit. Next thing you know, I'm up $3,245 on SINT, more than halfway to my daily goal. Daily goal is $5,000. So making some nice progress. And this was not even 7 a.m. All right, so that was a good start to the day. This went up to a high of about 380. I tried, kind of in this area. I was like, is it going to hold this ascending resistance line now as support? And then we're going to get a move up to 4, but it couldn't quite do it. Then it dipped down, and I was actually watching it here because it pulled back. It's back just sort of at VWAP now. And I was wondering, is this going to make another attempt towards the high? But, it's starting to get a little later in the morning. And I thought, if it was going to happen, maybe it probably already would have, and I should just ease off a little bit. I already, by the way, gave back a little off the top. I peaked at 12,000 on the day, so gave back about 1,300 off the top. Okay, so first trades were on SINT. So traded that one all the way up to $3,200, and then it kind of stopped giving nice trades, and I was just sitting on the sidelines. Next stock, THAR. THAR hits the scans, and I'm like, I'm not jumping in on the first pop on anything. I'm going to wait for it to hold. So it pops up here to a high of 280. It dips down, and when it curls back up here, I got in on that curl, and we got this move first up to 3. That was a nice trade, about $1,000 on that. It pulls back. Then I got a really nice trade here on the break of 3, all the way up to $3.40. Unfortunately, it didn't hold that level. Formed a topping tail, which is bearish because the sellers pulled it back down, and then red candle that followed. Nonetheless, $4,878 on THAR. See, I already had a little bit of a cushion on the day on SINT, so I was able to take more risk from the very first trade on THAR, and I did. And of course, I didn't trade it until it was already proving strength and curling back up. This candle, high day candle, 1 million shares of volume just on that candle there. This candle here. So that was really nice to see. All right, so got some trades on THAR. Now I'm up 8,000 on the day. I'm like, awesome, moving in the right direction here. Then UAVS pops up. Now UAVS, I was a little bit skeptical. The news was that they got invited to the White House for key discussions on commercial unmanned aerial vehicles. I was like, great, they got invited to the White House. Wait a second, who invited them? Was it Trump or Biden? So then when I realized it was Biden and they already had visited, I'm like, well, I don't know if this really means anything at all. He's leaving in 6 weeks. So, to be honest, I mean, it's not like it's bad news for a company to get invited to the White House, even if the administration is changing, but it's certainly not as good as if it was the new administration, right? Let's be honest. So for that reason, I sort of was like, I don't know if this is going to work. And it ends up squeezing up anyways from 368, which is where I sort of, first popped, didn't trade it, comes up, and I was like, I don't know about that news headline. So I don't trade it here, but then finally I say, you know what, I'll take this trade. So I took the trade here when it started to pull away, and we get a move up to 380, up to 4, up to 420, up to 440. I locked up in this move and then up into this move about $3,000 on it. But you'll note I'm only up $1,800. I gave back profit off the top. I gave back profit, where was it? I had a couple of trades up around, now I'm trying to remember. We had this peak here, and then it comes back down, and I tried to get back in here for the move back higher, and I tried to get back in here for the move back higher, and both of those got rejected. Then it comes up here, and I was like, I just can't trust it here. This is just too choppy. So anyways, yeah, unfortunately, I made money on it, but then gave back half of what I made. I found it to be choppy. But in the meantime, VINO popped up. I got a quick trade on that one. Wasn't super confident with it because I couldn't tell what the catalyst was, but made $700 on that. Bought a little dip and it curled higher. That was more on the 10-second time frame. So what I like about the 10-second chart is that I can kind of break each 1-minute candle into 6 10-second candles. So this right there, micro pullback, squeezes up. So that was a micro pullback. That's a micro pullback. That's a micro pullback. And that's a little micro pullback. So you can kind of better visualize the micro pullbacks on the chart. But when I'm actually trading, what I'm really looking at is the level 2. And I can visualize those micro pullbacks on the level 2 as the price dips down and then curls back up. So that was VINO. And then JTAI, this one popped up and I took a 400 share trade, really small size, made $148. So it was like 40 cents on 400 shares. I just really was like, I don't know that I can trust this stuff. So, and I really couldn't, but with small size, I was able to get in and out. And that was it. At the open, I was looking at UAVS and it, it just was so thickly traded. It wasn't giving me an obvious signal. So I sat on the sidelines on that. BTCT from last week, Bitcoin stocks. I was watching the price of Bitcoin. I still think that it's worth watching in case Bitcoin puts in, well, really, Bitcoin would have to break over, to me, all-time high, and probably, /BTC, probably $100,000. So to really get exciting. But we do have a couple of Bitcoin stocks that are on side charts waiting to see if BTCT or if Bitcoin makes a move higher. BTCT is one of those stocks on the side chart. BTCS also side chart, although I don't like this one quite as much. So right now my game plan is, for this week to get in, get green, not overstay my welcome. We're coming into next week being a holiday week. So we've got Thanksgiving next Thursday. The market's closed Thursday. Friday is Black Friday. Usually it's a lower volume day in the market. Of course, there's a lot of sales and people are going shopping, and we'll have sales here at Warrior Trading as well. But, Black Friday, half day in the market. Is it a half day? No, I can't remember. Sometimes it's a half day. I'll have to check. But nonetheless, it's not going to be probably a high volume day. So liquidity won't be quite as good. So really next week, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, to kind of, make as much as we can. And then, then we've got the holiday. So I'm going to try to, if I can make up, maybe get myself a little ahead of the game going into next week. If I can have a really strong week this week, then the pressure's off a little bit for next week. My optimistic monthly goal of $400,000 is within reach, but we're going to need to have some strong trading over these next 7-8 days. So whether or not it happens, I don't know. Look, we could have a trade tomorrow and I'm up $100,000, and just like that, it's like game changer. Here we go. Or we might have, 10 more days like today, which is fine. That would still be a great end of the month, but it's not going to put me over 400K on the month. So in any case, I'm going to be aggressive, and you guys who watch on YouTube, would love to have you guys join us this week and through next week. Do a 2-week trial for $20. Watch over my shoulder. And then When these Black Friday sales begin, you'll be able to really know what you're buying. And if you want to buy a membership, be a member of Warrior Trading for a year, we would love to have you. But, we'd love to have you give it a try. Really, see for yourself what it's like to be part of this community, to use these tools and, see if it's a good fit for you. So anyways, I'll put the link to check out the 2-week trial pinned to the top of the comments, linked in the description. I hope you guys check it out. And I got another episode that I'm going to be uploading today that I think you're going to really enjoy. It is 27 years of trading knowledge condensed into a 3-hour and 5-minute long video, which is a long video, but it is a lot packed in, and I think you guys are going to really love it. So make sure you watch that episode. That's going to get released today. All right, thanks as always for tuning in. Reminder, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so manage your risk, take it slow, and I'll see you back here bright and early. I'll be streaming for members at Warrior Trading at 7 a.m.